Mark Newsome, Mr. Marketing. Wow. Wait till you feel the passion from this gentleman. The ideas that if you have a local business and you need marketing, my goodness, the ideas that it just kept flowing and flowing from him, and a great conversation with Mark. Just some things that seem so fundamental, but once you hear from him, you could tell he's practiced it. You could tell he knows it. The difference between marketing and sales. So many small businesses fail from this. Well, I'm in the tech space, as many of you know. Many of the small businesses are tech led, and they don't do well with sales and marketing. Sometimes they do decent with sales, but marketing certainly they don't. A lot of them don't understand the difference. But Mark Newsome really puts it together. He's got a podcast. He's got great content on his website. You're going to really enjoy this conversation. Get ready to kind of be blown away. If you're really interested, take a lot of notes, but just ideas about how to grow and how to market your business. I really enjoy talking with Mark. I know you will as well. Thanks for listening. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz. People ask me, how did I lose 130 pounds? The quick answer is always discipline. I started my business, wasn't paying attention to my health, was eating too much, drinking too much sweets. My daughter was born. Next thing I know, I'm pre-diabetic, I have hypertension. I knew something had to change. Discipline. I, like many of you, have faced many challenges in your career, in your family, in your life, in your faith. How did you attack them? How did you approach them? How did you solve them, hopefully? It all had to have some degree of discipline. I'm also asked, how did you found and start a tech business? And it lasted over 25 years. Discipline. I was committed to it, enjoyed technology, didn't enjoy some aspects of it, but knew it was necessary. Discipline. Our podcast mission, how do we use discipline to better ourselves and society? Join me, please, as I talk to interesting people and discuss how they use discipline in their family and their passion and their careers and how it helped them. Our podcast vision, growth through learning from others. Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. It'll be light and serious. Join us, please. Thank you for consideration. Mark Newsome, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. And thanks for your time today. What's essentially, for small business owners, what essentially is the difference between marketing and sales?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Here's the way I'm going to say it, Joe. Everybody's got their own definition. When we are selling, in my opinion, we're trying to convince any and everybody to give us money. Marketing, in my opinion, is more long term. We're nurturing our most ideal prospect to know we've got the product or service that's going to help them in multiple, my friend, ways.
Hmm. Hmm. And tell me about those ways.
Well, for instance,
Let's
it
stretch.
it doesn't have to be just front end, hey, Joe, this is going to help you make more money. It could be, Joe, we're going to help you grow your client base. We're going to help you lower your front end costs while you do it. And we're going to help you retain more of the clients uh, that you get. Plus, we're going to show you how to reactivate past client and customers who, for whatever reason, may have temporarily fallen through the cracks.
Hmm.
Sales, in my opinion, doesn't do that.
Very interesting. So, I'm in the tech industry, and a lot of my peers are technology led. They're engineers. They're very smart, but they're not smart in sales and in marketing. I would think that's very similar to most small businesses. They're very good at their craft, whatever their service is, but sales and marketing kind of falls behind. Do you find that to be the case, Mark?
Absolutely. In fact, Joe, when you take me out of this niche and you put me into the tech, suddenly I'm no use to you. You know,
Hmm.
I'm clueless. I'm like, how do you do this? What's that? But here's the other thing I think that you hit on that's really important, Joe. I think too many small business owners and service providers, especially tech geniuses, think the what was that movie with Kevin Cotton, Field of Dreams? Build it
Hmm.
and they will come. To a certain extent, that's true, but that's not a long-term strategy. I promise you. It's not, because there are too many geniuses out there in tech. Like, just think of a street lined up on both sides and we're all selling hot dogs. Who? What? Why? You're going to
Mm,
need some marketing and promotional skills. And when I say that, I'm not talking hype. I mean marketing and promoting, as you'll see as we go through our conversation. I'll give you
mm.
some spot on examples of exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, let's do it. Let's jump right into it. So, what are some things that small businesses should do to help their marketing to help expand their business?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. Joe, are you, well, I'm guessing, since you're in the tech field, I assume when you go into a uh, retail appliance center and you see the new goodies, you're just like, wow. So imagine this, a new state, I'm talking whatever's coming next, because again, I don't know. A state of the art tablet comes out. And let's say, like everything else, when it first comes out, it's at its highest retail price because it's the hottest in demand. Now, let's say, I'm just making this up for example, for our audience. Let's say this new goodie is retailing for $1,400. Now, we know that's not the appliance dealer's hard cost, but that's the retail price. We're going
Mm,
to say, and my numbers might be off just a little bit, but let's say the retail cost is half, $700. I mean, the hardcore cost is $700 or $900, but the retail price is $1,400. Now, you tell me what's going to happen. They put a big four-way sign in the store with letters big enough, excuse me, music legend Stevie Wonder can't miss it. And it says, free drawing. Enter for your chance to win this state of the art, in this case, tablet. Now, you tell me what's going to happen when the foot traffic walks in
mm. Yeah, they're gonna gravitate.
there. They're going to want to enter the free drawing, right? And you let them know a first, second, and third grand prize winner. So now you're thinking, I got three chances I could
Hmm.
potentially win. Now, the first grand prize winner is going to win the tablet. Everybody else, including the second and third runner up, are going to get an extremely, we'll say this is email, right? You go to this lead capture page. For the, ladies and gentlemen, you don't know what I mean by lead capture page. It just means the only option on that page is for you and I to give our name and our best email address. It's going to say free drawing, blah, 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 but it's not uh, a blog or an e-commerce site. In other words, you don't have a navigation bar and you can't do all this stuff on the side. It's yay or nay. Either you want in on this free drawing or you don't. So here's the point. Look, I'm going to make up some numbers. We're going to say this thing runs for 60 days, Joe, and they get 5,000 people to enter, right? Now, let me talk reality. Some people will unsubscribe. That's just the reality, ladies and gentlemen. But you best believe the vast majority, especially the people like Joe who know when they read the specs, this is the real deal, they're going to want in. So here's the point. We choose the first grand prize winner. The second grand prize winner gets 20% off. Follow this. But simply for dragging a friend with them, it's 50% off.
Hmm.
Third prize winner, it's 10% off simply for dragging a friend. It's 25% within this short, say, 10-day window. And everybody else, it's 10% off. They drag a friend, it's 20%.
Hmm.
Now, let me tell you what we call this technique, and I'm getting a little ahead of myself, Joe. We call this the McDonald's technique. Why do we call it that?
Right.
Because when you go into McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's, they're all doing it now, and you say, I'll have the strawberry shake and fries. What does the cashier automatically come back and say? Would you like fries with that?
Mm.
And do you know what happens when McDonald's all over the world has a 17 to 21-year-old with no professional marketing skills whatsoever when they ask that fancy six-word question? A percentage of their audience, 10 to 40% of their daily foot traffic, not only says yes, Joe, but here's the genius. Because McDonald's was one of the first major fast food restaurants to use this strategy. Here's where McDonald's takes it to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, please pay close attention. McDonald's got their best guru and guruettes in the room and said, how can we take our a proven upsell money making strategy to the next level or two? And here's what they came up with. They said a three-word phrase, Joe, supersize you.
Mm.
And with that, boom, another extra whatever percent goes into their bottom line. And ladies and gentlemen, if you notice, pardon me, that's why the McDonald's executives all over the world live in really nice primary homes, have a secondary home, have really nice cars in the garage, and their kids or grandkids go to the best universities on the planet. Because this simple two-pronged strategy puts annually tens of billions of dollars in their pocket. And here's the best part, Joe. Unlike us as aspiring entrepreneurs, they didn't have to go back on television, on major primetime radio,
Mm.
TV, local major newspapers, throwaway guides, and spend 80% of that gross profit to get you and I back in the store or, the
Hmm.
restaurant. Instead, it's reversed. It's 80, 90% gross profit, and the other 10% is gross cost. If you and I get, or let's say it another way, Joe,
Hmm.
if you and I, instead of receiving 1 to 3% on our money, could get the 15 to 32% banks get reloaning our money, we'd have really big houses, secondary houses, and
Hmm.
really nice cars. You see the difference, ladies and gentlemen? That's what we mean by marketing and promoting. Sales is you run that ad. Yeah, they see your name, Joe's Pizza, Mark's Deli. You know how many times, ladies and gentlemen, on average, you have to do that before the average consumer says, oh, yeah, Joe's Pizza or Mark's, whatever.
Mm.
Too many times. When you say drag a friend and ethically bribe them, you've just eliminated that 10 or 12 touches, what we call exposures, because you don't need to do that now. Now, just like McDonald's, Joe, they don't get everybody. But did superstar, future Hall of Fame famer Tom Brady ever throw an occasional interception? Of course he did. But why he's going into the Hall of Fame is all those Super Bowl rings and conference championships and playoff wins and come from behind wins. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. These type of strategies right here are going to, what I like to say, Joe, simultaneously raise gross profits and simultaneously lower your front end costs. That's how you stop working hard in your business or service to working hard and smart on your business and service.
Fantastic. So once you get these names, you run this, you run this survey, this contest, you get now you've got a list, an email list
Ah,
of people that were interested in that technical device,
absolutely.
that bid on it, that dragged their friend in.
You're
What do you
right.
do now?
Well, now we systematically romance in other words, ladies and gentlemen, especially ladies, I don't mean to be crass here, but here's the difference between what we're talking about and what the average business is doing. You walk into a bar, see the hottest babe in there, and you walk up to her and say, hey, I live right up the street. You want to go hang out? Now, she knows what you're suggesting.
Hmm.
We romance them now. What do you mean, Mark? We send them, we do what we call 80-20, Joe. 80% of the content, we send them, especially you tech people, listen to me. Educate your prospect base. Start asking them, what are the three biggest tech questions you have about X? And then you create content around that. And then 20% of your correspondence with them, either by phone, email, whatever it is, that's when you offer a solution.
Hmm.
Product A, service B, this, that, and the other. Now, I want you, Joe and I don't have time. Ladies and gentlemen, here's something you got to do for both of us. I
Hmm.
want you to go to YouTube, I want you to go to Google, and I want you to put in what is lifetime customer value. You'll see some videos. Once you have a general idea of what your current total lifetime customer value metric is for your specific audience, then you're not marketing or advertising with blinders on, walking through a minefield, trying to not step on the mines. You know what you can afford. Because, Joe, what good does it do to pay $1 a click, spend $1,500 total, and the total lifetime customer value of your ideal customer is only $600?
Hmm.
You're going to be upside down. So don't ever make this mistake. And for those of you who sell this kind of stuff, I'm not trying to denigrate you, but when you see these advertising specials, buy 3 ads, 6 ads, a year's worth for the super discounted price, you absolutely have no business doing that. You're
Hmm.
putting the cart before the horse. You say, wait a minute, what do you mean, Mark? I'm saving the deal. You haven't tested your premise yet. What good does it do you to save money if you're going to offer a fish a cigar bite as bait? You How do you know bass eat cigar bits? You don't. So you wouldn't buy 20 boxes of cigar bits because you can save 75% off. You and I have to test. Once you inexpensively test, you're going to get a response from your prospect, yay or nay. Then and only then do smart marketers proceed. See, marketing is our, excuse me, I'm sorry. We call it A/B split testing, Joe. You want this, you want that. A/B split testing is a simple way of hedging yourself, right? Like a hedge fund. They're going up and down. You say, well, how do they make money off of that? Believe me, they do very well. So the point is you and I have to hedge. I call it success insurance. Because if something isn't working, why would you continue to fuel it with your effort, your attention, and your capital? You know what's going to happen, Joe? Very shortly, not only are you going to stay in frustrationville, you're going to be upside down financially, and you're going to be out of business.
Hmm.
And that's a shame. This is what happens all the time. You got people that are really brilliant, like you said, in whatever, but because they don't really understand, and I'll say it this way, Joe, the psychology of marketing. What do you mean, Mark? Joe, you tell me what happened. Let's say you're a waiter in a restaurant, right? And uh, Party and myself, 3 people come in. We order X amount of food. Now, the tip should be normally about or the gratuity. In this particular establishment, it's the gratuity because, Joe works in this fancy schmancy place. The gratuity should be 15%, which means his tip should be about 15, 20 bucks. You tell me what happens, Joe. We have a $50 bill, tape it to an envelope, leave it on the table, and here's what the envelope says on the outside of it. You tell me what's going to happen. This is your table now. We leave, you walk over, $50 bill with an envelope, and this is what the envelope says in big bold letters, in parentheses, exclamation point, in red letters. You definitely deserve this. And you tell me what's going to happen, Joe.
Oh, they're going to open it.
You're going to rip that thing open in 2 nanoseconds. And when you get back to your crew, you're going to say, hey, you see that group of guys look like a bunch of bums? They left me a $50 tip. And everybody's going to
Nice.
say, what? Now, 2 days later, Joe, when we walk back in, what's going to happen if you're in that restaurant? You're going to beat
Great
feet to
service.
that table, right?
Yeah.
Now, if we disappoint him, he may not service us very good. But the point is, he's thinking in his mind, good tippers. That's the psychology, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Joe, let me spin this 1 second to show if you're a
Hmm.
retail jeweler, you may not believe what I just said to you could apply to you, but let me show you how it would. The female waitress walks over. She services the same scenario. We spend X. She's expecting about $15, $20 tip if she's lucky because she's a little skeptical about us. We were dressed. We slip that $50 bill on an envelope, paper clip it, leave it on the table. She, gets the $50 bill, rips it says, you definitely deserve this. She rips it open, and there's a single to initially. We'll have more vendors as we, get this thing going. But for now, we're working with a retail jeweler, and this is what it says. Dear valued employee of blank's restaurant, exclamation point. Please enter our free drawing for a chance to win a beautiful $2,500 diamond studded necklace. Say what? She
Hmm.
flips it over. Side B. Side B says, come to our store before this expiration date. That's called scarcity, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a 10-day window, Joe, not 10 business days. Whatever, like we're here today, whatever the 10th day is from now, that's the expiration date. It says, come alone and you can save 10% up to your first $200. Not very sexy or enticing. And then it says, however, simply for dragging a friend who's at least 18 before this expiration date, you can save 40% or X because it's a template. In other words, you put your own numbers in there, but you can save 40% up to $1,500. And if your friend joins our list, catch this, ladies and gentlemen, before they leave the store that day, they can save up to 30% to $1,000.
Hmm.
And if they join our list, you, the recipient, can buy a $300 bracelet for just 99 bucks. Now, what do you think she's going to do? She's going to lean
Wow.
on that friend a little bit. You need to join the list. Again, everybody won't do it, but we're going to get enough. Now, here's my point. Let's take this as next step further. Now, remember,
Hmm.
our retail jewelry store, Joe, we've been blasting those, forgive me for saying, but we call them alligators, those local billboard signs, because they just eat money. We've
Huh.
been rocking that between $40,000 and $75,000 a month. Local primetime television, local primetime radio, outrageously expensive full and half page ads in the major newspapers. I don't have to tell you how much that costs, or a full or half page ad in a local throwaway guys. Now, for a fraction of that cost, what's going to happen when she comes back to the store, the restaurant, with her $450 diamond studded earrings that she got for 200 half our cost $225,
Wow.
right?
She's gonna
But
tell her,
follow
she's gonna
this,
tell her
we're not done.
friends.
Joe, we're
Yeah.
not done. Here's
Right.
what we tell her on site. We say, listen, there's a very good chance at least some of the women you work with now or in the future are going to be interested in jewelry, right? Yeah, it says, here's 10 gift certificates. Extremely time sensitive. Same thing you signed up for. You pass these out, and as long as we get at least 5 before the expiration date, or X, could be 3, whatever. 5 before the expiration date, you come back, and those $450 earrings you got for half, we'll exchange them in, and you get a $650 pair for the same $225. Joe, is she
Wow.
gonna hustle it up?
Wow.
Right? Now, but we're not done, ladies and gentlemen. Have you seen these infomercials? They say, but wait, there's more. There's even more. We tell her, listen, the moment you deliver us 10, in this case, we gave you 10 extremely time sensitive gift certificates, whether they meet the date or not. Now, you let them know if the expiration date is over and they still want to be a customer, we love to have them, but then they're subject to whatever our current prices are. Okay. But the moment you reach 10, we're going to refund you back, in essence, your deposit, and you get that bling for free. Now, here's my
Wow.
question, Joe. How many of her current, future girlfriends, current, future neighbors, current and future co-workers, in-laws, perhaps if her mom is still with us, are not going to want in on this, right? That's marketing. That's not
Genius.
sales.
Right.
That's marketing. And if we get an
Mm.
army, like for instance, if we get a clan of nurses or female dentists, your business is about to blow up like you can't
Wow.
imagine, ladies and gentlemen. Like you can't imagine. In fact, we tell her, listen, as soon as you reach 30 first-time customers, irregardless of what they spend on that first sale, because again, we're going to make our money on what we call the back end, ladies and gentlemen, all the additional sales, the repeat sales, when they spend more money, the testimonials. They're going to jump on their social media platforms, showing off their bling, bragging, doing what do you call those selfies like crazy. You better believe it. You better believe it. But here's what I was going to say, Joe.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, your competitor 3 blocks over, they're about to renew that uh, cash draining uh, billboard ad campaign because somebody's telling them you got to brand yourself. And I don't mean branding the way that the real marketers mean. I mean branding as in just throwing your name out there, as if
Mm.
somehow that's going to persuade people to do business with you. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go down that road.
Hmm.
Please do not go down that road. In fact, let me take a really quick, simple. Joe, is it okay if I share the magic question with your audience?
I can't wait.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe has no idea what I'm about to say. And I promise you, we didn't rehearse this beforehand. But I'm going to try the magic question out on Joe right now, right after I take a sip of this water. And we're going to see what his response is. Joe, is it okay if I periodically refer you new business and customers?
It is.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that? And Joe, by the same token, as long as it doesn't take away from anything you're currently doing or will be doing in the future, are you okay with periodically returning the favor?
Certainly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me translate this because I know you see the trees, but you don't see the forest of untapped
Mm.
marketing possibilities. Here's what, let me translate to you what Joe or anybody you ask, and as long as you ask a vendor, current or future, that you have an established relationship with, you're going to get a positive response. Let me translate for what Joe just said. Mark, not only do you get access to the current resources, assets, connections I have today, but the ones I'm going to have tomorrow, which are 10x, you get access to those too.
Hmm.
That's what asking the magic question to vendors you currently have an established relationship with, because here's what you're not figuring out. Now, here's what 99% of your major competitors don't figure. Joe has employees, he has vendors, he has customers, VIP customers, VIP vendors. When Joe goes to his meeting at the Chamber of Commerce and he's rocking a $5,000 Rolex that we gave him at cost, do you not think some of those colleagues are going to say, Joe, man, that is an awesome watch. Where did you get it? And Joe's going to say, oh, my jeweler, Mark Newsome, Mark's jeweler over on 5th and Main. Really? You know, I've always passed by there. I've never been in there. Well, listen, man, it's your lucky day. Joe was in his pocket and he says, I got some extremely time sensitive gift certificates here, my friend. How many people in your organization you think would like some? Bam. And I tell Joe, listen, Joe, as soon as I get 10 customers or 15 customers, I'm going to refund that half that you paid for the watch. You can keep it. And Joe, going forward, every year, as long as you generate 15 customers within the year, I'll pay your membership into the Chamber of Commerce the next year.
Hmm.
Is Joe motivating? I think so. Am I picking up new customers for literally pennies on the dollar? I think so. We're all going to win here. And if Joe, are you married?
I am not.
Okay, well, I'm saying if Joe's got a living girlfriend or a girlfriend, you know she's going to demand that he hooks her up. And
Hmm.
I'm only going to be so glad to do it because she either owns her own business or she works somewhere. And when she goes to the daycare or she goes to that local uh, mom and pop donut shop that she likes to frequent, you know somebody's going to compliment her on that bling.
Hmm.
And what she's going to say, oh, well, my boyfriend knows his jeweler. And they're going to say, well, what's his name? And she said, you know what? The next time I come in here, he's got these gift certificates. I'll bring some in. Ladies and gentlemen, are you kidding me? In fact, Joe, let me go a step further. Let's say it's your birthday, right? And your buddies decide, you know what, we're going to hook Joe up. We'll get him a birthday cake, the whole nine.
Nice.
And I mean, they spent like, say, $75.
Mhm.
Unbeknownst to your buddies, Joe, I have a relationship with that uh, bakery. Here's how it works. First of all, I hook the owners and all the current employees and future employees up. I grandfather them in. Now, listen to me. For life, they can always save 25% on any purchase up to 1,000, 30% over 1,000, provided they bring somebody with them when they come to buy it. Now, when I tell them, look, anytime you get an order $75 and over, here's what you do. You either they come pick it up or they deliver it. In this case, let's say they come to pick it up. And they're thinking, okay, it's going to be about $90 for everything. And the owner puts the cake up in the box and the bag and everything, winks and says, enjoy, this one's on us. Now, first of all, after they
Hmm.
get up off the floor and they're shocked, like, what are they going to do when they get back to their circle of influence, Joe?
Spread the word.
You like you can't believe. Ladies and gentlemen, in this day and age, we call it word of mouth and mouse. Now, here's the point. You say, well, wait a minute, Mark, why would they do that? In reality, I, the jeweler or the retail appliance center, whoever's savvy enough to be using this strategy, I'm going to pick up the hard cost. So the bakery's not out of anything. But what do you think the deal is, Joe, that they include in that package? What's the outside of that envelope going to say? You definitely deserve this! Exclamation point. And when they open it up, there'll be what we call a time sensitive bounce back offer. What the heck is that, Mark? It's a fancy way of saying, hey, you come back to the business you did business with within a certain amount of time, you save X, or we throw in this bonus or whatever. And then based on when they say, well, how many is going to be at Joe's party? Oh, we think 15. That's how many of these extremely time sensitive gift certificates we put in there. Now, for the guys, I would say we'll use the appliance deal, right? Where they can come in, if they drag a friend, they're going to save X. For the ladies, it's going to be the jewelry. This, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, if you're doing this versus local primetime radio, the standard traditional stuff, Joe's Pizza, we have the best pizza in town, come in. No, you have to incentivize. Let me take this a step further, Joe, because I know some of your audience is picking up on this and they're loving this and they're saying, whoa, this guy, I hear what he said. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the other thing. If you can think conceptually and not just linear, in other words, if you hear me say 8 plus 2, you got to understand that 7 plus 3, 5 plus 5, 9 plus 1, 8 plus 2, 20 minus 10 mathematically gets you to the same place. So hear my words, but follow my concept, not the exact strategy that I'm relaying. Because again, you may not be able to do 8 plus 2, but you could probably do 6 plus 4. If you can see that, I promise you, your business, provided you implement now, your business is about to take off. I don't care if you have a product or a service. But let me show you another thing, Joe. Let's say we're going to make you the gourmet coffee shop owner, Joe. Everybody raves that, oh, Joe, you got the best gourmet coffee in the area. In fact, you've won best non-franchise uh, uh, coffee supplier in the area 2 or 3 times in the last 5 years. So everybody knows you got the best tasting coffee. But here's the issue, Joe. You sell your famous big gulp, a plastic cup that Joe calls the big gulp. You sell it for $7.79 each. So I mean, it's not exactly cheap. We're going to show you how you take that, Joe, and turn that into a perpetual money-making gold mine. Okay, Mr. Marketing Guru, how do you do that? Very simple. What's up? Joe creates a coffee club, and he puts a sign up there that says, "Are you a member of our coffee club?" Question mark. So people come in, they say, "What's the coffee club?" And Joe says, "Do you like gourmet coffee?" Or whoever's working the cash register. "Do you love gourmet coffee?" "Oh, I love gourmet coffee." Here's the way it works. He or she pulls out the plastic cup. They say, "You buy this cup, or you buy a large big cup of coffee. The first time it's retail price, $7.79 or X. But from now on, when you bring that cup back, it's only $2.29. What? Now, they used to go from once or twice a month. Now they're coming in 3 times a week.
Mm.
Times 52 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. And here's what Joe is banking on. Not every time are they going to come in just to buy an inexpensive cup of gourmet coffee. With that savings, they're going to say, throw in a baker's dozen of the donuts, or throw in 2 bagels with cream cheese, or throw in 2 extra pastries. So you're going to pick up that stuff at retail. There's your profit. Plus, when Joe goes back to work, or if he owns his own business, he goes back, he puts that cup down on the desk. Somebody's going to say, "Joe, what's up with that cup?" "Oh, gourmet coffee place?" You go in there the first time, you pay retail. Every time you come back, you bring the cup, you only pay $1.99, $2.29, $2.79, some lower price.
Hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you kidding me? Now, let me show you something that I'll guarantee you 99% of them will miss, Joe. What if you're the company that provides sugar to the gourmet coffee shop? Why would you want to study marketing and promoting? You sell sugar, sugar, sugar. Maybe. But guess what? You have a total lifetime customer value metric as well. Once you figure out what your spread is, what if you did this? Because remember, your ultimate goal is you want to sell more sugar. What if you made a deal and you could get the gourmet coffee at cost, Give it to Joe. Joe sells more coffee, which means he needs more sugar, and you're making more money. Joe spreads your word as the vendor to do business with. You don't have to advertise as much because you're promoting. And here's the other thing Joe starts doing. He hires some good look. He's already got good looking women working for him, but he
Mhm.
hires a couple more young ladies. And on Customer Appreciation Day, with some of the businesses that do business with Joe, he sends these good looking ladies out to the job and they serve the gourmet coffee in the big gulp and tells them, hey, the first time, if you were at our store, you'd pay retail of X, but since we're coming to you, we want you to sample our goods. When you come to our store from now on, you bring that cup with you, and instead of paying the retail of $7.79, you only pay $2.29. Whoa, that's how you spread the word, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, those ladies are going to be showcased on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, possibly Twitter, maybe a little TikTok action,
Very good. Mark,
right?
on your callback items, why have a time sensitive? Why 10 days?
Oh, no, and
Why
again,
why
that's
have
not
that?
etched in
No,
stone.
another
That's not it.
question
See,
is, does branding ever work? Those two questions.
of course. But the problem is, oh, Joe, you blanked out. I
No, I
can't.
just asked those
Oh,
two questions.
okay. You blanked out, Joe.
Okay,
I
so
couldn't hear you.
yeah, first question is why be time sensitive on those callbacks when you give a coupon? Why in 10 days? Why is it time sensitive?
Okay, well, it doesn't have to be 10 days, but here's why it has to be time sensitive. I didn't hear any of that.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. Here's why. Because Joe, human beings, we have a natural tendency to procrastinate.
Mm,
If you don't give, okay, let me ask you a question. Why does the IRS say April 15th is the deadline? Otherwise,
yeah.
I might do my taxes in December, right? There's no deadline, there's no urgency. I'll get to it. We got to light a fire and incentivize them. If we don't, you're wasting money. So, and see, the thing is, we don't just want to put a deadline, we want to incentivize the deadline. Hey, you do this before then. Like, with your kids, uh, you can have a couple extra chocolate chip cookies if you do this. The kid's like, okay, that's why we have to incentivize it. Human beings, we love to procrastinate. Joe, that's our nature. We
Mm,
love to procrastinate. So we got to incentivize you need to do this now versus later because life kicks in. The phone rings. You're watching Game of Thrones. All this stuff happens. And before you know, that coupon thing, oh, yeah, I get to that. Well, if they really want it, they got to act now.
mm,
And like we said, we know some people are going to procrastinate. But in fact, you bring up an excellent point that I forgot to mention, Joe. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the people who take advantage and bring the extra person with them, those are your customers that you shower the most attention on. You treat everybody the same. Now, don't misunderstand what I'm saying, but your VIP customers get a little more because they are proving they're worth more to your bottom line. You follow me? I mean, if somebody's only going to spend $80, why would you spend $800 to acquire them?
hmm.
You invest that $800 in Joe, who's going to not only spend $5,000, but with all his word of mouth and testimonials, he's going to bring you an extra $40,000. That makes more sense. And by the way, Joe, here's the other thing. And I'm using, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not stuck on a retail jeweler, but just so you know, if you're a retail jeweler out there, please reach out to me. I work off a 25% performance basis, meaning every dollar I bring you, you clearly didn't have. You can compensate me in bling, partly, and cash. But anyway, I
Wow.
digress. Let me say this. Think about this. Here's one of the things I strongly suggest a retail jeweler does. If you want to dominate your area, your immediate area, you find the most successful, and fellas, no offense, female real estate brokers, mortgage brokers, dentists, CFPs, CPAs, professional women, chiropractors, all these things. But the ones who are rocking Facebook Lives on at least a weekly basis. And just like Chip and Joanna, when they show off a home, that furniture, in case you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, that furniture is donated by savvy furniture companies who wants that exposure.
Right.
You let her go on the air with your diamond studded necklace, your diamond studded earrings. Nobody has to know that stuff is on loan. She does her thing and she says, oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting some direct messages. If any of you are interested in getting some really nice jewelry, I have a special arrangement with Joe's Jeweler. I'm going to put the link
Hmm.
in the chat over here. You go there, you mention the extension so they know that it comes to me. I have a relationship. I'm an affiliate, just so you know, full disclosure. And you get a special price the general public can't get. There's no way. If she's doing Facebook Lives at least once a week, she's not going to get some direct messages wanting to know where they got the bling. And Joe, let's spin this because I want you to see how powerful this is, ladies and gentlemen. See, your competitors think the only way they can get exposure is to advertise. You and I know if you market, you can get 10x. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You guys don't know this, but Joe has a side hustle of a photography business. He and his girlfriend run this little mom and pop now. It's not franchise or anything like that. Photography business. So here's what happens. After I hook them up, with some really nice bling at cost in that same scenario, we talked to, he brings so many customers and eventually we will refund the amount you paid, half price to begin with. Way beyond that, here's what happens. I say, Joe, what's your slowest day? He says, oh, Mark, believe it or not, Thursdays. I say, okay, here's what's going to start happening. I'm going to send Tammy, one of my best looking female associates, down to your spot. And when the women come in to do a portrait, Tammy is going to be standing there with some $650 diamond studded earrings. And she's going to say, Miss, would it be okay with you if we let you showcase these earrings in your portrait?
Hmm.
What? Now, in complete transparency, we want the exposure, but do you mind, showcasing our earrings? And if you let us do that, we'll let you get them for half price, provided you join our opt-in email list. I think that's the McDonald's technique all over, Joe. A
Wow.
certain percentage of those women gonna say, yeah. Now they take the portrait. And when they get back home and stick that main portrait up on the wall proudly, what are their friends, family, relatives, neighbors, and besties all gonna want to know? Where did she get that bling? And then we show her how she could turn this into a side hustle because we'll tell her, hey, look, if you want, you can pass these out. And every time a customer, a lead upgrades to customer, first time customer, we don't care what they spend, we'll pay you $50 a lead. And the moment you reach 40 first time customers or X, we double it to $100, which means if you pass out 50 of these, 30%, 15 people become a customer, we give you $1,500. I know that will pay at least half your mortgage, if not the whole thing, or half your rent, if not the whole thing, or all of your car payment, all your cell phone payment. Think about it. They're not a millionaire, but they've got a way to create an income. And more importantly, it's given us word of mouth and mouse for literally pennies on the dollar. Ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, Joe, that's called marketing, not sales.
Mark, your passion for marketing is contagious.
I hope so, buddy.
You need to have a podcast. I don't know if you've considered this, but you should really consider having a podcast. On our podcast, we talk a lot about discipline. I lost a lot of weight. People ask me,
Oh,
"How'd you lose the
right.
weight?" Like
There you
like there's
go.
like there's some mystery, and I just say discipline. It just took some focus. Do you consider yourself a disciplined person, Mark Newsome?
Yes, to a certain degree. Sure.
How so? And is it manifested in marketing?
Well, I hope so because what I try to do is stay true to the proven fundamentals, Joe.
Hmm.
Everybody wants to get fancy schmancy. No, stick to the proven fundamentals. Joe, do you remember a legendary football coach? He's passed away now. They named the Super Bowl trophy after him, called the Lombardi Trophy.
Of course, Green Bay
The
Packers,
great
certainly.
Vince Lombardi was quoted, ladies and gentlemen, saying after he turned the Packers from misfits into champions, Every training camp, he would stand up in front of his returning veteran players and rookies, take a deflated football and say, gentlemen, this is a football. Meaning the fundamentals, tackling, blocking, all, whatever the fundamentals are of football. Vince didn't stray from the fundamentals. He said,
Hmm.
the team that does that best overall is going to win. The team, the marketing service providers or retail business providers who stick to the proven fundamentals, list building, ethical bribes, knowing lifetime customer value, incentivizing ethical bonuses, they're going to win. In fact, Joe, here's a simple throwaway strategy that almost nobody uses. I mentioned ethical bribes for your customers. Ladies and gentlemen, do you not realize your vendors and current and future vendors have inactive customers? Guess what? You could take some of your lower end products and services, offer them as an inducement to give to their VIP customers, their inactive customers, to get them back. You're not going to get everybody, nobody does, but you could reinvigorate their business because remember, they're bringing people back into the fold they've already spent the money to acquire. So they're not spending another fortune to get them. They're just ethically bribing them to be active again. And that's the other thing, Joe.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, from this moment forward, Joe and I want your commitment. You will stop treating your business or service like a one night stand.
Hmm.
What the heck are you saying, Mark? Stop going from first time retail customer to first time retail customer to first time retail customer. You say, well, Mark, that's how you build a business. That's the hard way. The smart way is you get a customer in the door or a client, and then you nurture them to spend more money, come more often, refer more often. Now you're working on the business or service, not just in it. And Joe, by the way, since you opened the door, ladies and gentlemen, I do have a podcast. You can go over
Fantastic.
to Spotify.com, put in The Marketing Minute, look for my name, Mark with a K, Newsome, Newsome, The Marketing Minute. Listen to any episode you like. And if you truly got value, if you would give me a 5-star review, that will help me organically get my message out. I would truly appreciate that. Only if you got value. And Joe, let's talk about this. This is the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Ladies and gentlemen, I certainly hope you're rocking social media. I'm rocking social media. Joe, are you rocking social media?
There's always room for improvement, but
No,
certainly.
absolutely. I'm not a social media guy, but here's the point of that. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget this. This is critical. You and I on social media are glorified tenants.
Hmm.
Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn, they're the landlords. They can and will, not them personally, they hired people. Their managers and overseers can pull the plug on your account anytime they wish for whatever reason they want. And where's that going to leave you? 2 weeks ago, Joe had a 500,000 Instagram followers and 275,000 followers on Twitter, and they pulled his account. That didn't happen, but they just scored it
Hmm.
together. What does that leave Joe? If Joe hasn't been strategically building his own opt-in email list, he can still communicate with his audience anytime he wants because he's got email. Or you can build an offline database. If you're an offline store and you're not rocking email, but you should understand this, ladies and gentlemen. Joe's Gourmet, let's say Joe's Retail Appliance Center has an email list. He could, let's say I'm the gourmet coffee shop owner, but I'm still in the Stone Age. I'm saying, Joe, I don't have time for email. And Joe says, Mark, I'll tell you what I'm going to do because I like you. You're a great guy and I love your coffee. Here's what I'm going to do. Every Monday, I'm going to send my list a coupon you and I are going to make together. It's time sensitive, but I'm going to send it out to my email list to tell them to go over to your gourmet coffee shop, show the email on their phone, and instead of them paying $7.79 for the big gulp, they're going to pay $5.79, and then when you give them the cup, it's the same thing. They pay $2.79, and because Joe can monitor who opened the emails and not, he knows who to send it again to who didn't open it. But the point is, you see how I'm benefiting from email, even though I don't have my own email list yet? See, this is what your competitors don't see. This is how you could move ahead. And in fact, when Joe suggested, I said, "Oh, Joe, you know what I'm going to do? Tell me how many people in your, text me the number of people in your business that love gourmet coffee from you and everybody works here." I set X amount of cups aside. Joe has somebody, he or somebody comes in and picks them up, and they don't even pay the $5.79 or the $7.79. They just pay the $1.79. I mean, the $1.99 or $2.29 or whatever the low price is from now on. This is how you build your business for literally pennies on the dollar, ladies and gentlemen. And it's being done by your major competitors right in front of you, and you don't see it because they're not jumping on Twitter saying, "Hey, we just discovered this new marketing strategy." They're just doing it. And so, meanwhile, you're wondering, well, how the heck are they giving this coffee away at this low price? I know what gourmet coffee costs, because they're not banking on one sale. They're banking on retail, repeat sales. They're
Right.
banking on what's going to happen when they want to do a birthday party. Who do you think they're going to probably turn to first?
Hmm.
Right? Now, Joe, I don't want to sound biased. We've been talking about retail people. You service providers, I got some stuff for you. We're going to say that Joe's a realtor now. You guys know how many careers Joe has? I mean, he does all these things.
Mm.
Joe is a local realtor, and he's excellent. He does good, but the problem is there are a lot of excellent real estate brokers, commercial and retail. Residential. We'll say Joe's residential. So follow this strategy. Joe, do they have any of those adult education classes in your area?
Of course.
Okay, we got them here too. Now, COVID isn't over, ladies and gentlemen. People are coming back to the live presentations again, but this could be done virtually. Here's what Joe does. Joe is a licensed real estate broker, meaning he owns a business, or he could be an licensed agent. Either way, get this. Joe puts on a 90-minute class in the Adult Education Center, and Joe, catch this title. See if you get the psychology behind this. Here's the name of the class: How to Sell Your Home Without a Licensed Real Estate Agent, or in this case, broker! Exclamation point.
Hmm.
Now, wait, let me get this straight. A licensed broker who only gets paid commission when they sell one of these things, they're teaching a class called How to Sell Your House Without a Realtor? How does that make any sense? Here's what Joe knows. On average, within 6 to 8 weeks of a local home owner trying to sell their home without a broker, once they realize everything it entails, 98% of them are going to fold like a deck of cards, and they're going to turn to a licensed real estate agent.
Mm.
Bingo. Who do you think more times than not they're going to turn to? Joe.
Right.
Why? Because Joe is showing them how to do it without him. And when I say that, ladies and gentlemen, Joe's not cutting any corners. He's showing them paperwork you need. In fact, Joe's got some extremely time-sensitive gift certificates that last for 6 months that if they do sell it for themselves, here's an attorney, local attorney that specializes in real estate closing, Joe recommends users all the time. You don't think they're going to be ingratiated and say, "Wow, that was fabulous. This guy showed us all of this stuff and we tried to sell it. We couldn't." Once we saw how many people make an appointment and never show up, and how many people at the last minute the thing falls through, we just couldn't be bothered with it. So we turned it over to Joe, and they got our house sold, our commercial property sold. That is going to build some huge word of mouth and mouse. And if Joe happens to do this with a couple of the local hairdressers, what do you think they're going to be bragging about to their clientele when they sit down in the chair, Joe?
Hmm.
Right? Which brings me back to my jeweler. You should hook up every one of those female nail and hair salon owners with some discounted bling and some discount coupon cards and create a contest. Whoever has the most every month, you get $250 on top of the $50 or $100 a lead. And every time you lead the pack, meaning you have the most sales for the month, you get double. So in other words, a $500 bonus or whatever the bonus is, it's double. My friend, that's how you build a huge business
Wow,
for
Mark,
literally pennies
incredible.
on
The
the dollar.
ideas that come out of you, Mark. So
Well,
impressive.
thank you. Thank you, my friend.
So impressive.
Seriously,
What motivates you, Mark?
two things. The late Greek Zig Ziglar said, you can get everything in life you want if you help enough other people get what they want,
Hmm.
right? If I help Joe, Joe's going to help me. You heard him with the magic question. He said, of
Right.
course, Mark, if you're going to help me build my business, I'll help you build yours. Well, the more people you and I help, guess what? We're going to move to the top of the list. And Joe, I didn't mention this, but here's the other thing with the hair salon, nail salon. You tell the nail salon owner every time you generate X amount of customers for the month, I'll pay your lease for the month.
Hmm.
Which means now every customer that sits in that chair from the first of the month to the end of the month is gross profit. You
Wow.
follow me? And some of those women are going to move on. They may go start their own, start competing with the owner, get their own spot. Or they may go to another hairdresser. They're going to go with your bling, which means start the process all over in the new hair salon. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how it's done. This is not
Incredible.
hard. It's
Yeah.
psychology. And in full disclosure, ladies and gentlemen, I'm no genius, but what I'm good at, spinning. And what I mean by that, I
Hmm.
get a concept from Joe. Joe says 7 plus 3, and I go, wow, I think 8 plus 2 would work. So that's where I picked this stuff up from customers and clients. Joe, I have clients that I've helped way back when, and they call me up with a situation. They want to look at a headline. They want me to help them write this. And sometimes I charge, sometimes I don't. But I'm saying I get to survey what's going on and I get ideas. So I'm more than happy to say, oh, yeah, let me take a look at it. Because, see, I'm going to see things they don't see.
That's right.
Now, I don't know how much time we have, Joe, but I got to throw this. Joe, this one just blows my mind. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe, do you have a super Walmart in your area?
Certainly, yeah.
Okay, imagine this. Now, you be honest. Tell the audience. If it was holiday time, holiday rush, you expect the store to be filled with people, right? We're talking super Walmart. So you come in on the first floor, get on the elevator, and go up to the second floor. And Joe, every shelf in the store, everyone is completely empty. Now, honestly, what would your gut need reaction be?
Panic.
They're going out of business, right?
Yeah.
Not a few products on the shelves that you're thinking, okay, it was like when COVID first started, you go into where the paper towels and toilet paper was blown out.
Right.
Every shelf in the store is dead dog empty. There's nobody up there but a handful of Walmart workers walking around. Okay, now you say, okay, Mr. Marketing Genius, we're not on the same drugs as you. What does this have to do with anything, Mark? I'll tell you what it has to do with anything. 99% of you will have a flyer. On side A, you got your offer, you turn it over, and it's completely blank. That's prime time real estate, people. You could have an A-B split offer A at the top, offer B at the bottom. Let these two play, two different vendors now, follow me. Let them play off each other. Whichever offer clearly blows the other one away, you eliminate offer B. And now the backside is offer A, which you know generates revenue. And if that marketer is smart, they will say, we'll start you off at 20% once we pay costs. And the moment you do X amount of business or generate X amount of customers, we move you up to 50%. Because again, they're going to make the majority of their money on the back end. Ladies and gentlemen, you start marketing and promoting like this, and I'll tell you what is just going to happen. The men and women outside your immediate area who's struggling, they're going to tap your brain. Say, Joe, how much would you charge us to consult? To share, because remember, they're not in his immediate area, so he's not cannibalizing himself. And
Hmm.
Joe could set up a little subscription thing and say, look, $97 a month. We'll jump on Zoom or in this, what is this, Joe? Zencaster. We'll jump on Zencaster and we'll just do a case study where you show me what you're doing. Let me look at your emails. Let me look at your headlines. I call them main power headlines. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a simple copywriting technique, strategy that work wonders for you. I want you to picture a table, a desk, like somebody would be at their job. You're looking at the table and you're looking at all this stuff. There's awards and all this other stuff, and you come across a picture of you and your family on your ideal customer's desk. How does that make any sense? It doesn't. You say, well, okay, Mark, what's the point? The point is, don't write from the I, we, me perspective. You write from the you, your perspective. I, we, me repels, you and yours attracts. Stop saying we do this, we offer. You can receive this, you get that, your benefits, your this. That will attract the prospects you're trying to attract. You need a PS. Your headline, Joe, your headline needs to answer the one burning question everybody, you and me, walking the planet has. Everybody wears a neon sign, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget this. It says, "What's in it for me?" That's what you sell. The solution, the benefits. You start marketing and promoting like this, and it probably won't be long before you're donning stages all over the world with the Gary V's, the Les Browns, and all these other men and women, because you'll have some very valuable content to share.
Hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. It's contagious. Your excitement for this. It's how
I
do you
hope so. I hope so.
how do you measure success, Mark?
Good question. Ladies and gentlemen, you know it's not just monetary. I just met a friend, Joe. The more friends I can meet like Joe, the more successful I'm going to be, and the more
Hmm.
successful I consider myself. So the giving, the serving, in my opinion, it opens the door to all that other stuff. If you're not serving, then you're going to have to compete really hard. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter what we do, there's going to be men and women who are smarter, men and women who are richer, men and women who are more connected. But that doesn't mean they can outserve us necessarily. When I was a kid, now I'm really dating myself, Joe, there was a Saturday morning cartoon called HR Puff and Stuff. And one line in his, the theme song I always loved. He said, "Can't do a little because I can't do enough."
Hmm.
That's the serving mentality, people. You adopt that and you are on your way. You're going to the next level or two, whatever that is for you. There's no question about it. Joe, I don't know if I've over delivered, but that was my intentions, my friend.
That was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. The time just went by so quickly. There's so many, nuggets of there's so many can glean from here.
I hope so, my friend.
Tell us, how can we get in touch with you? What's
Oh,
the easiest way? Your website, your
oh,
podcast, etc.
thank you, Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, two things. A, if you're a reader, I didn't hear that. But ladies and gentlemen, if you're a reader, please stop by my blog, canmarketonlinenow.com. I have a free 9-page special report. I'd love for you to download it. Read about this concept called back ending. It'll blow your mind. I also have a 22-part sequential follow-up email series called Small Business Marketing Mastery. If you like to listen, head over to Spotify.com, pull up my podcast, The Marketing Minute, Mark Newsome, Newsome. Feel free. I gladly accept your referrals. Feel free to share this with any and everybody you know that's an aspiring entrepreneur. And I forgot to mention the best part, Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, if for whatever reason, after you download my 9-page special report, you start going through it, if you decide, Mark, you know what, this is good, but it's just not for me, here's what I want you to do. Please feel free to unsubscribe anytime you wish for whatever reason you want, but you and I can still be friends.
Hmm. Well said. Well said. Mark, thank you so much for your time today. I know I took a lot of notes. Anybody listening, your your feet, you've got such a passion for this, and it's like I say, it's contagious. I absolutely love it. Thanks so much
Thank
for
you.
your time. I look forward to one day
Likewise.
having a cup of coffee with you, and you be
Likewise.
well.
Yes. Yes, my friend.
You be
Absolutely.
well. Bye now.
Same to you.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypins.com. There you find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Would you like to financially support the podcast? You can go to our Patreon site. Consider $5, $10, or $20 a month. There's all kind of plans that we have there. There's like a one-time payment. What is this podcast episode worth to you? $25, $50, $100, $500, $1,000, $5,000. You be the judge. You can go to our PayPal account to do that as well. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.